can listen to this practice wherever you find yourself today. You can be sitting down or laying down, or even stretching and doing things if that's what you got to do. And hopefully wherever you're at when you listen, this will still be helpful to you in some way. So if you would like to listen to this in a still position, then feel free to take all the time you need to arrive there and just allow yourself to fidget, adjust, move, stretch in whatever ways feel good in your body. And doing your best to not think about the movements at all, but just letting your body move you in the ways that intuitively feel good in your bones, muscles, and joints. And if what feels best to you right now is stillness, then honoring that need for stillness whenever that feels like the right thing. There's no rush whatsoever. You can continue to move throughout this practice whenever you feel the need to. And at any point, if you're feeling ready to come to that still position, then you may do so. Just feeling that the spine is nice and straight in whatever position you've chosen. And if you're in a space where you feel safe and would like to, you can allow the eyes to gently close at any time if they aren't already. And you can mark your arrival into your practice today, into your body today, with a full, intentional cleansing breath. As you take a long and slow inhale in through the nose and just watching yourself fill up to every corner and edge of you as you just hold that for a moment and really experience that sense of fullness. And without straining as you need to, slowly letting all of that go. Again, through the nose and just pushing that last bit of stagnant air out of you by pulling the navel toward the spine at the bottom of your exhale and just pausing for another moment to experience that sense of emptiness as you allow your next breath to come to you as it's needed. So you can breathe just like this for as many rounds as feels good and helpful. Just exaggerating the 4 parts of your breath. So not worrying about the actual length of your inhales, exhales, and pauses, but just letting them be exaggerated for you. So even when you think you're full, seeing if you can take a few more sips of air to really fill up. And letting that pause be a bit more intentional. And then exhaling a bit deeper than you typically would. And again, pausing for an extra moment. So we are consciously slowing down the process of our breath. And slowing our awareness down alongside it. And if you feel like maybe you need a little extra energy today, you can focus a bit more on your inhales and maybe even imagine an energizing light coming into your body as you inhale. And imagining that settling into the body as you exhale. And if you happen to be feeling a little ramped up today and maybe like you need to calm down even more, you can switch that to focusing more so on your exhales. And maybe imagine things that you don't need within you leaving your body as you exhale. And you can continue to breathe in this exaggerated way for as long as it feels good and helpful for you. But at any point, if you haven't already, you can just release this guidance over your breath altogether. And allow yourself to step back and up in the mind as you come into that role of the observer or the witness. Into that point of view where you can simply watch the fact that your body is breathing, rather than having any direct impact over the rhythm or depth of your breath. But reminding yourself how the breath is that one bodily function that can be either voluntary or automatic. So just playing with that control and then release of control as we begin today. And just knowing that you are capable of watching your body breathe just as you would watch any other force of nature. Imagining that same energy you might have if you're laying on the beach and just watching the waves roll up along the shoreline. You're not trying to change anything about the rhythm of the waves as they come in and go out, but you're just simply watching. So seeing if you can simply watch your body breathe you without having any influence over the rhythm of your breath. Even if it's just for a split second. You're just observing the natural processes in your body. Remembering how much your body does to keep you alive every single moment of every day and night. And even when you are deep in sleep, your body functions perfectly to keep you alive. So seeing if you can simply observe that process. And just noticing whether this feels simple and straightforward for you today, or whether this feels rather difficult today. And just making a mental note for yourself how you are beginning your practice today. Knowing that we will always arrive at a different starting point each and every time we show up to a practice like this. As we are constantly changing. The quality of our mind is constantly changing. So maybe right now the mind is very active and wandering to the past or to the future, thinking about anything at all that was before this exact moment, or maybe trying to multitask and plan things for your day. And just know that the moment you notice the mind is wandering or thinking, that automatically puts you back in the role of the observer. And just letting your awareness come to the sounds that are around you. As you just let your awareness focus more so on your ears. And just gradually letting all of your awareness come to both of your ears. And even with the eyes closed, maybe seeing a depiction of the unique shape of your ears. Maybe seeing a depiction of sounds entering into your ears. And just listening closely to all the sounds that exist around you. Even if there are sounds around you that you might first label as distracting, just practicing allowing those sounds to exist and be a part of your soundscape. And just remembering that every single sound you are currently hearing is a reminder of this moment. They can act as powerful anchors to this exact moment, since sounds will only ever exist in this moment. And even if you're in a space that is very quiet right now, maybe at first you believe it is silent, just listening closely to that silence and hearing all the different sounds that still exist within silence. All the different layers of sounds around you. Maybe shifting your attention to whatever you can tune into that's furthest away from your body. Maybe that's the sound of traffic outside, or the wind in the trees, maybe birds. And then tuning into a sound that's close to the body. Maybe the sound of the lights humming in the room that you're in. Maybe the sound of an animal that's near you. Or maybe even just the sound of your body breathing. The sound of your own heartbeat. And then listening to all those layers in between, the sounds closest to you and furthest away from you. And just allowing your awareness to naturally dance from sound to sound. Just following wherever your attention feels drawn, listening there for some time. And then as your awareness is drawn somewhere else, tuning in over there. And just listening to your own personal symphony. Just reminding yourself that you are the only one who is hearing exactly what it is you are hearing right now. The unique mixture of your external environment and the unique mixture, or along with the unique sounds in your internal environment. And as you are listening, you can just start to notice if you're feeling any sensations in the ears themselves. Maybe feeling a slight pulse of your ears. And then just tracing the path that sound takes into your body. And letting your awareness travel into both ears, into both eardrums, and traveling through the ear canals as your awareness meets together at the space between the inner ears, at the very center of the skull. And just noticing anything at all that you feel in this space. As you allow your jaw to hang heavy into place. You allow your lips to soften and the tongue to release from the roof of the mouth. And just allowing that sense of release to naturally spread outward and upward as the chin and nostrils soften as well. Any muscles that are active in the ears releasing. And in the corners of the eyes. And just simply allowing your eyelids to rest on the eyeballs. And all those tiny muscles along your lash line that scrunch up when you squint. Even feeling those soften as the corners of the eyes just get a tiny bit wider. As you allow the eyeballs to rest in their sockets. And just allow your gaze to rest wherever it is looking. Maybe at the backs of the eyelids, or maybe peering up into the forehead. Maybe even rolling back further, peering into the skull. And just practicing noticing anything at all that you are seeing, even if the eyes are open. Just seeing or allowing your gaze to glaze over almost. So your focus is at everything and nothing at the same time, if that makes sense. And even if all you are seeing is darkness, just peering into that darkness. And reminding yourself that whatever you are seeing right now is a reminder of this moment. Noticing if what you are seeing is impacted by what you are hearing. If there's any relationship between the two senses. And just simply allowing your hairline to soften back as your forehead gets a little bit wider and deeper, as the eyebrows soften a little bit more. And maybe feeling a sense of a pulse at the space between the eyebrows. And just allowing that pulse to be a comfort to you as you sink down a little bit deeper into the surface that is supporting you. And even if it's just for a moment, feeling a deep sense of safety in your body, in the space you are in right now. Just reminding yourself how deeply and truly safe you are in this moment, in this body, on this earth. And that when you let go, you will not be crushed. You will not float away, but you will be simply held exactly where you need to be by the force of gravity and the support of the earth beneath you. And just reminding yourself that it is safe for you to let go. You do not need to hold anything in any particular way. But when you exhale and allow yourself to soften, you will be held exactly where you need to be. And there is nothing that you need to do right now. This is not a doing or thinking process, but a listening process, a feeling process. And so just releasing yourself a little bit deeper into the surface that is beneath you. Allowing your pelvic floor to lengthen and widen into your seat. Just reminding yourself of this deep sense of safety that we all possess in this life. Our body will return to the earth and our souls will return to wherever they've come from. And on a deep, deep level, on an ultimate level, we are all safe. And so, as you tune into this deep sense of safety that you do possess, there might be quite a few layers stacked on top of that. Maybe that deep sense of safety is difficult to feel. As maybe there are layers on top of things that threaten your sense of safety, or circumstances in your life that don't support your safety. And if that is the case, not pushing those thoughts away, but just noticing that they are there and allowing those seeds to be planted within you. As you just remember that there will always be a period of time between when we recognize we need to make a change and when we actually have the power and the resources to make those changes. And so if there is any changes that you need to make in your life, not letting them overwhelm you, but seeing if you can just sit with those things. Allow those thoughts and ideas to be there instead of pushing them down deeper within us, where they will only get more deeply embedded. But allowing these thoughts and ideas and maybe future action steps to be there, recognizing if they are there. And just reminding yourself that this practice, or any healing practice, is not about ignoring the things that make you uncomfortable or ignoring pain that is present and washing over everything with love and light. This practice is about feeling what you are currently feeling, about being present with yourself in your environment in all aspects. We are not meant to feel good and connected and inspired all of the time. We will not feel good and inspired all of the time. And so oftentimes that expectation or pressure we might put on ourselves to be feeling good, connected, inspired all the time, that expectation in itself can be the source of great suffering. As if we're just feeling maybe flat or blah today, and that pressure we put on ourselves to feel better, to feel good, to feel connected, to feel inspired. That in itself can be a great resistance to what we are currently feeling. And so you can just remind yourself that whatever you are feeling, whether it is good, bad, or nothing, that is exactly what you should be feeling right now, simply because you are feeling it. And you can use your feelings as well as anchors to this present moment. Because what we are hearing, what we are seeing and feeling will only ever exist in this moment. What we are smelling and tasting as well. And oftentimes we can accomplish a lot in our minds by thinking things through, by planning, by evaluating the past, or planning for hypotheticals in the future. These things are all necessary things that our mind does and will do. And we're not meant to never do those things, but we can give ourselves a break from those things and remind ourselves to spend intentional time in the present to the best of our ability on any given day. Knowing that sometimes it will feel so easy to sink into the present moment. And other times it will feel nearly impossible. And the ease at which you come into the present moment is not a reflection of who you are or how you are as a person. It is just another factor of being a human. And you can remember the analogy of the moon that comes from Hellenistic astrology as a very helpful tool to being kind to ourselves in whatever phase we are in. Because the moon is the representation of our physical body. Just like our body, the moon is simply matter. It does not have a light of its own. But the moon reflects the light of the sun, which is the representation for our soul, our inner spark that animates our body. And there will be times where the moon is fully illuminated by the sun, where the moon is bright and full and is shining light for others in the darkness. And there are other times where that exact same moon is a new moon, and it's not reflecting any light. It can barely be seen. It's hibernating in the shadows. And then there are all the phases the moon moves through between the new moon and the full moon. Partially illuminated, partially in the dark. And the moon changes its face every single day. The moon is constantly changing through these phases. And we are the same way. We will constantly be changing and shifting in how connected we feel and how inspired we feel, or in how flat we feel and maybe disconnected, uninspired. And these feelings are not a direct reflection of anything you've done or who you are as a person, but it is just another part of the human experience. And just like the moon, we are not meant to be a full moon all the time. We are not meant to be inspired and connected feeling all the time. We are simply meant to move through the phases as we do, as we will. And so you can allow yourself to release that extra layer that we put on ourselves with the expectation to feel something different. And so if you are feeling like a new moon right now, you can let go of those voices that tell you you should be feeling like a full moon, or you should be connected, you should be feeling good, you should be grateful, whatever those should thoughts are. When you catch yourself thinking those, you can just let that be a cue to remind yourself that whatever you are feeling is exactly what you should be feeling, simply because you are feeling it. Even if those feelings aren't what you would call good. And the only way that we move on is by feeling, is through feeling. Not pushing feelings away or shoving them down deeper within us, but allowing them to arise and therefore release in whatever way they need to be released. Through tears, through laughter, through screaming, whatever release your body is calling for. And just trusting that whatever phase you are in, it will change, even when it feels like it won't. And so you can use that as a comfort to you if you're in a space right now that you don't particularly like, that doesn't feel particularly good. Just reminding yourself that this too shall pass. and every storm runs out of rain. And you can also use that as a comfort to you, or as permission for you to fully feel all the good things you're feeling and really soak it all up. Release any guilt you might have for feeling good when you know that there is pain in the world. And just allow yourself to feel good. Allow yourself to soak it all up so that you can get through the more difficult times with a little bit more ease. And allowing your light to shine bright for others who are in the darkness right now. And just allowing yourself to make the most of those times when you are feeling good and connected, because it won't last forever. But we will always be moving through these phases, just like the moon. We will be full and bright, and then we will be in the darkness. And then we'll go back to being full and bright and back in the darkness, and we'll constantly be moving through these phases throughout our lives. And so you can simply allow yourself to ride these waves and just release that extra layer that we put on ourselves of resistance to what we are feeling. And simply allow yourself to feel what it is you're already feeling. So I'm just going to read a passage from Inward by Young Pueblo. You can just allow anything that feels like it resonates with you to soak in a little bit deeper and not worrying about the rest. There is an important difference between dwelling in misery and understanding that on the path of healing, things will come up that sometimes cause us to feel the old emotions and patterns that we are working on letting go. There is great power in honoring the reality of our current emotions, not feeding them or making them worse, but simply recognizing that this is what has arisen in the present moment, and that this will also change. When we create this space within ourselves, a space of calmness that is undisturbed by the storm tends to pass more quickly. Practicing such profound honesty within ourselves helps in all facets of internal and external life. There is no real freedom without honesty. And without honesty, there can be no peace of mind. Healing ourselves isn't about constantly feeling bliss. Being attached to bliss is a bondage of its own. Trying to force ourselves to be happy is counterproductive because it suppresses the sometimes tough reality of the moment, pushing it back within the depths of our being instead of allowing it to arise and release. Dear Moon, thank you for shedding light in the darkness, for helping me know myself better than before, for giving time and magic to the earth and order to our nightly stars. You are a mother who sees all, knows all, and asks for nothing in return. So you can just take the next few moments to simply allow all the words you've heard today to settle. If you imagine everything you've heard as little specks of glitter in a snow globe. And now is the time where we set the snow globe down and allow it to settle. Allow the air to clear. And just trusting that anything you heard today that really resonated with you or struck a chord with you in some way. Just trusting that that feeling can come when we hear on the outside what a part of us already knows to be true on the inside. And so just allowing those truths to be enhanced within you, so you feel a little bit more confidence to act on your own intuition. And just strengthening that trust with your deepest self, so that you never feel the need to give that power away to anyone else. And if anyone ever tries to convince you that they know you better than you know you, or they know what you need better than what you know, letting that be a giant red flag. And just letting this confidence with yourself and your own instincts be enhanced. And just knowing that you are your own best teacher. And we will all hear things from the world around us that sparks things within us, or are great reminders, or, we can learn a lot of things from the world around us. But ultimately, there is nobody out there who will be able to teach you more about yourself and your deepest needs and desires than what quiet time with yourself can teach you. And so again, just never giving that power away to anyone else, but letting your own power grow. And so if it feels like something you would like to do today, you can just let your hands come and find each other in a prayer position toward heart center. As you just feel the contact of your palms and fingers to one another. And press your thumbs toward your heart as you allow your heart to lift back toward your thumbs. As you just tune in to this unique rhythm within you, within your chest, and to all this power that is being generated through you, through your heart. And as you take a deep and full breath into the body, you can let yourself fill up to every corner and edge of you. And as you exhale, letting go of anything you're ready to let go of, as you allow the head to gently bow. And just taking this moment to bow to the source of energy that allows all of our hearts to beat, whatever you believe that to be. And bowing to everyone in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally, bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today and taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. May this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights. And may you bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and to everyone that you see. Thank you.